Digging out of the snow is the worst. Dig your toes in the sand with a pina colada instead. Escape the cold and book your winter weather getaway with All About Travel today. When you book with us, you're getting a team of travel experts who can customize a fun-in-the-sun trip just for you. If you're looking for all-inclusive or perhaps something with a ton of spontaneity, you can trust All About Travel to take care of all the details, so the only thing you'll need to worry about is which flavor of daiquiri to order. All About Travel, helping you find your personal paradise.
Welcome to the Jason Fersdahl Show, our first installation brought to you by All About Travel. Coach, thanks for doing this year.
Well, thanks again for having me. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks again to Big Sioux Media for all the great coverage. We're looking forward to another great season.
So you've graduated some senior leadership. You got to step up a little bit. You returned Shook and Schmidt. You're going to return Rentz a little bit. He had some playing time at the end. Elijah Story a little bit at the end. But you really have to replace those four seniors that left.
Yeah, we do. We lost a talented group of seniors last year that played a lot of basketball for us over the years. They brought a lot of heart, a lot of hustle to the floor, tremendous length and athleticism that really made our defense go last year. Again, we've got guys chomping at the bit to get to that varsity level, and we got a few guys you mentioned, Shook and Schmidt and Rentz that have played a lot of basketball over the last 2 years for us, and we're going to lean on them heavily, especially early in the season, to really lead by that experience that they have, and they've been great in practice so far as well.
You're also going to bring up a junior in Logan Heim, probably one of the bigger players that you've had since Cook and Langer have left. What is he going to bring to this offense this year?
We're really excited about Logan. He's had a great 2 weeks of practice. He's playing hard. He's a talented kid. He's got good feet. He's a good passer, and he can hit a 15-foot jump shot. He can be a real matchup problem for a lot of teams, and we're looking forward to him and Shook both in the post there, creating a lot of problems for our opponents throughout the year. And another way Logan really is going to benefit us, we're going to use him as the anchor of our defense a lot, and he can alter a lot of shots, he can block a lot of shots, and corral a lot of rebounds. We need him to do that for us.
You talk about being a passer, with him being able to play that post and bringing him up, and even bringing up somebody like Elijah Story and his size. Does that free Mason Schmidt up a little bit more to be that wing that he wants to be?
Well, I think so. We want to have good spacing all the time on offense, and we're going to go into starting against West Central with Carson at the point and Mason and Elijah Story running the wings, and Jeffrey the 4 and Logan at the 5. And a lot of our transition looks, Mason's a heck of an athlete, and we want to get him out in space and running, and I think we can do that a lot. He's trying to find some of those opportunities. Elijah running the other wing, he's just a smart kid, and he makes good cuts. He seems to kind of always find the ball. The ball finds him. He's moving, and we have good passers that can find him too. So yeah, we want to play with space and purpose all the time, and make cuts for a purpose. So I look forward to all our guys creating space and being able to take it to the rim.
One of the things that you don't have the luxury of that you've had in years past is guys with experience coming off the bench. This year you're going to have someone like Drew Van Rigemorter, Logan Ellingson, Nick Beaver, Eddie Price coming off of a year missed. How do you get those guys up to speed, varsity speed, seeing how they haven't had a lot of varsity experience?
Well, a lot of that's from our off-season playing Summer Jam League at the Pentagon. We played against a lot of AA teams. Team camps, SDSU and Mitchell that we went to, and we played against top-level competition throughout the state. Really excited to have Eddie Price back after an injury last year. He's gotten a lot bigger and stronger in his off-season. Tremendous athlete, plays with a ton of intensity. He's just a motor guy, and we look forward to him running the floor hard, defending and rebounding. Drew Van Rigemorter is a kid that really had a good summer playing with the schoolers. He's grown a little bit, probably 6'2", strong going in the basket, can hit some open shots. Caleb Kirschman, senior, be in the mix here. Very quick, athletic kid that can get to the rim. Logan Ellingson had a really good summer. We looked for defensive pressure out of him, and he can really bring that to the table. Nick Beaver's an athletic kid that can really help us get up and down the floor, can probably guard a number of positions on the floor. And then we got another senior, Ethan Fox, that's worked hard in basketball. Got some size that can play in the post. And then Carson Welbeck rounds out our varsity, and he's just a high IQ player. runs the floor hard, can hit open shots, just kind of seems to be in the right position all the time as well.
You talked about tough competition this summer. You come back, it's the DAC-12 again, the best conference, in my opinion, in the state of South Dakota from top to bottom. How does that summer prepare you for this winter with that DAC-12?
Well, yeah, you said, you hit the nail right on the head. The DAC-12, I don't think anybody would argue with you. It's definitely the toughest conference in the state, and kind of proved it last year, taking first through fifth place at the State A tournament. Again, you've got to play well every night in the Dakota 12 Conference if you're going to win a game. If you don't, you're going to get beat. Top to bottom, 1 through 11 in our conference. High quality opponents. So, it's been that way the last few years. It's the toughest conference in the state, and it's nothing new. So our guys have kind of adjusted to that. We know we got to bring intensity, we got to bring effort all the time, and that can never slip. Those things really prepare you well for the postseason.
As we get going, you talk about the postseason. They kind of jumbled up the regions a little bit. I don't want to say did you a huge favor, but they took Madison and Flandreau, moved them into Region 2. But then on the reverse side, they bring in Tri-Valley and West Central. What's your thoughts of your new region this year?
Well, we go down to a 6-team region this year with Madison, Flandreau, and Flandreau Indian School moving north to Region 2. Obviously, you think over the last 10 years, Del Rapids and Madison, we've had some really, really good games in high-pressure type situations in regions and conference championships. Break Madison going out, Flandreau bringing back LeBrun and All-Stater. They're going to be a tough team again this year. But then you bring in Tri-Valley, who's been to, probably 4 or 5 state tournaments in the last 10 years, and they have a senior-led club, and they're going to be tough. And West Central's a program on the rise. Coach Siddick's doing an awesome job there, and they have a lot of talent coming up in their classes. So, our Region 3, you moved Madison out, state runner-up last year, but you bring in 2 solid teams as well in Tri-Valley and West Central. So it's going to be tough, no doubt about it.
The other big change this year is there's no DAC-12 showcase. You're teaming up with the conference up north with Aberdeen, Roncalli, and Groton, and Milbank, and those guys. How do you feel about that new change for 2 years here? Yeah,
it's a 2-year commitment. We're going to play it in Madison last weekend of January, and we're playing the Northeastern Conference. And there's some high-quality teams up there, too. You mentioned Roncalli and Sisseton. Groton's going to have a good team this year. So, it's going to be fun matchups, fun day of basketball in Madison, seeding it 1 through 11. Whoever we match up with should be a solid team and a high-quality opponent. Last couple of years we've been fortunate enough to be in that DAC-12 Classic Championship and gone around with Christian a couple times, and Madison once last year in that. Again, they're all high-quality games. So, I think it'll be a good, exciting change to kind of have maybe a little geographic battle there, a little south and north, maybe showcase a little more throughout the state what our conference has.
The Sports Writers Association and a couple other publications have you guys either 5th or receiving votes. What have you said to the boys to keep this? It's the beginning of the year, you're playing in this tough conference. You still have Christian, you still have Madison, you still have T, you still have Tri-Valley, to be able to keep them just a little bit grounded going into the season.
We really don't talk about it much. We've had some teams highly ranked over the last few years, and that's all well and good. It generates a lot of buzz in the community, hopefully excitement for Del Rapids basketball. But honestly, our expectation is to go out and compete with the top teams in our conference and compete with the top teams in the state, night in, night out. So, that's kind of become our expectation every year. The rankings, preseason rankings, they really don't mean a thing. But we want to be there in the end. We want to be playing our best basketball in the end and be competing for that state championship berth.
One last thing, the big rule change that everybody's been talking about, and we've talked a little bit about it, is the coaches being able to go baseline. Does that affect your coaching style at all?
I don't think it'll affect a lot. Most guys maybe we're a step or two out of that coach's box anyway, and as long as you're being professional with those referees who are working the hardest they can and doing a great job, most guys really respect that. Where it might help is late game situation in a gym like Del Rapids with a packed crowd, trying to get that baseline official's attention for a timeout. Sometimes those situations, that gym is so loud and crazy, and it's hard for officials to hear. It's hard for anybody to hear. So maybe it'll help in that situation. Otherwise, I don't know if it'll really be a significant difference.
Let's talk about this home court advantage. If people haven't been here for volleyball or haven't been into the school yet this fall, brand new floor here that's been put out. It's a beautiful new floor. It's kind of got a little different coloring to it. Have you guys been able to adjust to that?
It's really beautiful. Our guys love it. The two-tone stain is really sharp. It just cleaned up the look. Kind of went with the new DR logo on there, and it just looks really nice. And then you have the bleachers on the other side here now as well. So our guys always look forward to playing in front of our home crowd. We feed off that energy all the time, and we got some big home games this year, so we look forward to those big crowds generating all kinds of energy in this gym.
You kind of got lucky in your scheduling this year. You get Madison, Christian, and T all at home. How much is that a benefit to you guys compared to having to go play those guys on the road?
Our guys love playing in front of our home crowd, and they bring all kinds of energy, and we just feed off that. But when we go on the road too, playing in the conference we play in, you got to bring it every night, whether you're playing at home or on the road. Every 2-year cycle here. So now we've got some of those traditional Region 3 opponents and conference opponents at home. We love our home court advantage. We love our crowd, our loud Courier crazies, being here for the freshman game, supporting our young guys. You don't see that in many other places. So this is a special place, and our guys know that. They appreciate that. We talk about it quite a bit, how special it is to play in Del Rapids in front of our home crowd. So, anybody we play at home, we're going to enjoy that. We look forward to those packed houses when those games come around too.
As Coach Jason Fersdahl, we want to thank him for week 1. We want to thank him for the season as we get going here. We'll be doing this weekly here on Big Sioux Media. Next week, we'll recap the games that the Warriors have played up until our broadcast. We'll also look at some skill development things for young kids, for those of you that are out there watching. So this is Lee Palmer with Coach Jason Fersdahl. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Digging out of the snow is the worst. Dig your toes in the sand with a pina colada instead. Escape the cold and book your winter weather getaway with All About Travel today. When you book with us, you're getting a team of travel experts who can customize a fun-in-the-sun trip just for you. If you're looking for all-inclusive or perhaps something with a ton of spontaneity, you can trust All About Travel to take care of all the details, so the only thing you'll need to worry about is which flavor of daiquiri to order. All About Travel, helping you find your personal paradise.